Hello, I'm Jonathan Scott, and welcome to On Air Education, presented by Silver State Schools Credit Union, prioritizing people over profit. Today's On Air Education explores the study of culinary arts, and we've got a lot to talk about. Las Vegas is home to almost every great chef in the world, foodie's paradise with multiple restaurants from chefs like Guy Fieri, Emeril Lagasse, Wolfgang Puck, Bobby Flay, and an off-the-strip Epicurean scene that's putting a new spin on Asian, Italian, and American cuisine. What does it take to succeed as a chef or a restaurateur in Las Vegas? We have a great panel to talk about the front of the house, the back of the house, working the line, being a sous chef, and food trucks and what's trending right now in the culinary world. Here to share their knowledge, their insights into the mouth-watering world of culinary arts. Please say hello to our guests, Executive Chef Mark Sandoval from the UNLV School of Hospitality. Mark, tell us a little bit about the program and share some of the valuable information that UNLV is providing.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for assembling the panel. This is great. The Hera College of Hospitality is basically your 4-year degree that you focus on all aspects of hospitality. So the students are able to narrow their areas of study so that they can really kind of hone in on what they want to focus on specifically. So that could be front of the house, it could be back of the house. We are not a culinary program, but we definitely give the students a great experience in foundational skills for back of the house. But that also includes gaming, pro golf management, rooms, hospitality. I mean, it's all kind of anything that a student could want. So
golf management?
Golf management.
Might be able to fix my slice?
Well, they were able to help me. So you can actually play 18 holes indoor, and it's, I think, 40 cameras, and they'll make your your swing pretty darn good. I don't know about Charles Barkley, but not that good.
He's
but
too tall. He's not played with Charles. Here to provide his views on the current restaurant trends and why one restaurant will succeed and the one right next door will not make it. Instantly recognizable friend of ours, restaurant journalist and host of a Food and Loathing podcast, which it has to be a reference to gonzo journalist Hunter S. Thompson. For those of you that don't know who Hunter S. Thompson, Fear and Loathing, there was 2 movies made, one with Bill Murray, one with Johnny Depp. Tell us a little bit about what I asked about why restaurants, one will make it and one will not.
Why one will make it and one won't. I mean, I'm sure the chefs here would love to hear the answer to that as well, because I think they both had some things that made it more than others. There's so many factors that go into it, but I think really the ability to, number one, respond to a changing market is incredibly important, and we've seen that over the past couple years. I mean, unbelievably. We had a pandemic that was incredibly painful, and yet there are restaurants that thrived during the pandemic, and there are restaurants that came out of it after the initial scare and the initial fear factor, came out of it better. And if you take a look at what they all have in common, it's the fact that they decided that they couldn't be set in their ways. They couldn't say, I never do this, I never do that. And that's the biggest problem. You need to realize that your community's needs are always changing, and you have to be able to change with them. And then, I thought it was great that Chef Mark mentioned that they are a hospitality school, not necessarily just a culinary school.
Right.
And look, nothing against how important it is to have your culinary game on. But if you are not doing hospitality right, I don't think that you're going to succeed. You need to show that you care about your customers. You have to make them feel as if when they walk into your restaurant that you are there to make their day easier and better. And if you do that, they will overlook so many other sins and mistakes and missteps if they just feel like they're wanted there and that you're really giving them hospitality.
And rounding out our panel, say hello to Chef Johnny Church. Wine Spectator magazine named Chef Johnny Church as the city's rising chef. Sous Chef Johnny Church developed his skills at Charlie Palmer's Oriel at Mandalay Bay, Andres at the Monte Carlo, Alizé at the Top of the Palms, and the Paris Hotel's Eiffel Tower restaurant with Chef Jean Joho. Did I say his name right? It was Jean Joho, right? Chef Johnny Church was named one of the chefs de cuisine by Las Vegas magazine. And Chef Johnny, thanks for joining us. I mean, you're in the front lines. I mean, you've done it all. What's the best way for somebody that's interested in culinary to get started?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's decide on if you want to go to culinary school or you want to go study under somebody great, go knock down their door. And literally nowadays you can do that through social media, and kind of pick and choose, where you want to navigate to work for. Say it's like Brian Howard is doing Sparrow and Wolf, or you want to go and work at Robichon. There's avenues to do that. If you're going to go to culinary school, I would advise to go to a good school, and then just put your head down and work your way up.
Did you go to school, or did you just go get a job?
I worked my way up. Yep. I started in actually when I came to Vegas, I started as a breakfast graveyard cook at this place called Santa Fe Mining Company in like '97 or something like that, and then just was fortunate to work my way up through some great restaurants and resorts, and mentored by some great people. Thankfully.
Al, I'm going to put it back to you and talk about, because you triggered something in my mind, ghost kitchens, which is something that I think developed during the pandemic.
Yeah, you're getting me started on a topic I do like to talk about, because prior to the pandemic, huge hype about ghost kitchens, right? And we all know that there's a big barrier of entry getting into a brick and mortar. It's expensive to open a restaurant. It's a big gamble to open a restaurant. So people thought, much like they used to think food trucks would be the easy way to get into running a restaurant, and then they suddenly realized, no, the trucks break down and you have to fix them and they're expensive and they're hot. Suddenly we all thought ghost kitchens were going to be the salvation. And then the pandemic happened. And ghost kitchens, where you don't really run a brick and mortar restaurant, you just run a kitchen for takeout and delivery, those took off during the pandemic, and we all thought that they were going to be the biggest thing ever. And now we're seeing people really struggle with that ghost kitchen concept. And now I think post-pandemic, people want to go out. They want to socialize. They want to do tapas where they could share. They've been cooped up for too long in a room. And I have spoken to people, there was a lot of tech money came into this ghost kitchen concept. The people behind Uber decided they wanted to do something, and I have heard no good stories about that. Maybe there are good stories out there, but the people that are reporting back to me that are trying to do that route are having a really hard time with it right now. And I think we're just not in the right time frame for it. I think people want to socialize. They don't want to eat on their couch watching Netflix after being cooped up for 2 years.
Well, I think we need to explain what a ghost kitchen is. I'll let you do it.
Yeah, sure. A ghost kitchen is basically the idea that you are running a kitchen and a restaurant concept either in the back of a pre-existing restaurant or in a commissary kitchen, which is a shared kitchen. And it is only available for takeout and delivery. So we thought that this would be a good way to get people into trying out a new idea. They wouldn't have to invest in the high rent and all of the build out that's required for a restaurant. The problem is that people want restaurants right now. They don't just want to do takeout. And I think that nobody could have seen that happening prior to the pandemic. It looked like a good idea. But the truth is, I don't know if there's ever going to be a substitution to try. We have a few ways to try out concepts. And I've mentioned the Vegas Test Kitchen in downtown Las Vegas. That works well, almost as a test kitchen idea. But ghost kitchens, the jury is still out, and I am not voting in their favor.
Well, you actually led into my next question, which was food trucks.
Food trucks were another idea that I think, and I don't know if you gentlemen have done the food truck thing.
I actually, when I did concept at MTO downtown, some of the partners were like, we had the brick and mortar, and they're like, let's get a food truck. I'm like, no, we're going backwards. Like, nothing wrong with having a food truck, and I think that they're great. But it's I think right now a lot of people that are doing them, you're finding out they're trying to do some food truck, kind of like almost a square block in downtown, which is people are up in arms about it. But I would say, embrace it if they're trying to, come out and, set up their restaurant and do great food, I say embrace that.
Johnny, do you think of food?
Well, hang on one second. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to have to hold on to your thought. You're watching On Air Education. Yeah. We've got chefs Johnny Church, executive chef Mark Sandoval from UNLV, and restaurant journalist Al Mancini. We're going to take our first commercial break. Stay right where you are.
We've been looking for new ways to help spread the word about how great it is to be a member at Silver State Schools Credit Union. So I asked my friend Mercedes to help out.
Members get awesome perks like great rates, cool benefits, and personalized service.
Wow, Mercedes, that's really loud.
Well, yeah, you asked me to spread the word.
I was thinking maybe you could say it on the radio.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Become a member today and have a financial partner for life.
Whoever you are, you're one of us. Whatever you want, we'll get you there. If you're not like anyone else, you're just what we're looking for. It's time to enroll in your future. Nevada State College.
Welcome to the Great American Pub, a great place to hang out with your friends, watch the game, and enjoy some great pub food. Our kitchen is open 24/7 with our full menu. Try some of our signature dishes like the Philly or clam chowder. Join us at the Great American Pub and enjoy happy hour specials. Grab a drink and enjoy great pub food from all over the country right here in Las Vegas. The Great American Pub with 2 great locations, 215 and Eastern and Flamingo and 215.
Here at Silver State Schools Credit Union, we do things differently than other financial institutions. We are a not-for-profit member-owned credit union, which means you, the member, benefit from better rates and excellent member service. And we make it easy for anyone to become a member. So what are you waiting for? Become a member today and have a financial partner for life.
People over profit, Silver State Schools Credit Union.
And Jonathan Scott back with On Air Education. Thanks for joining us. Today's topic, culinary arts, and what's it going to take to get started in that field. And recently, I have to thank our executive chef, Mark Sandoval from UNLV, for introducing me to Chef Guy Fieri the other day. And that's going to be an upcoming episode of On Air Education. And one of the things that I got from Chef Guy was how many jobs actually culinary and restaurants provide for the community as a whole. But we want to stay on topic just for a point to talk about food trucks. And Chef Church, you've actually been on the front lines. Is it, in your opinion, necessary, or what's been the trend from going from a brick and mortar restaurant into a food truck, or just starting the other way, going from a food truck to a brick and mortar? I know my friends from Fuku Burger went from the truck into the brick and mortar, and I always say the burgers are better on the truck.
Right? Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect example. I mean, Colin started out on Spring Mountain with one truck. Now he has brick and mortars. He's in the stadium. You know, I'm there every game for the Raiders. Go Raiders. And it's really cool to see how far, he's taken that concept from, just a food truck, not saying that's just anything, but
right.
To go and be in Allegiant Stadium and, have like 4 windows and it's just jam-packed.
Oh, yeah. And I still say something on the grill in the truck, I don't know if the years of the grease that made that burger
you got to season
better.
that. You got to definitely season.
Which gets us into another topic, Chef Sandoval, fine dining versus casual dining. When you're teaching your students there, I mean, let's go a little deeper in your program, specifically, if we can, on culinary.
So my aim specifically is to offer our students real-world experience. So a great example, Friday night, I did a chien de rôtisseur dinner. We had 50 guests. We did 8 courses paired with either a cocktail or with wine. The students did synchronized service, so they would serve one entire table at the same time, and we gave them 2 hours of training. They did an amazing job, but that's the kind of experience that I really try and provide for the students, so that when they go on to the Strip and they're interviewing for any kind of job in hospitality, someone from another hospitality college may have a similar degree, but our students are getting that experience. And that's from that kind of a high-end dinner to, hey, we're going to go to the men and women's soccer game. We have a doubleheader at UNLV. We have a flatbed truck with 3 grills on it, and we'll cook for 1,500 people. And it's outside, and it's live, and here we go. So we try and provide those experiences for them so that when they do go on to the Strip or wherever they go, they have that experience. And they really, truly know and embrace hospitality, and that's what's at the core of it. Al, you mentioned earlier, a restaurant cannot be successful. It doesn't matter how great the food is. If the front of the house and the service is horrendous, it's a miss. It has to be everyone with a shared goal. And that's, I think Johnny's probably the same as me. The reason I got into hospitality specifically was I loved making people happy. And it was instant gratification. It was nightly. When you cook for 400 covers a night and you know that you did an amazing job and people walked by and said, hey, thank you, that was awesome. That's what fueled my fire. And it made me want to do better and just continue to excel. And I think that that's what it is. It's about truly embracing that spirit of hospitality and wanting to create those special moments for people. Let's face it, we work weekends, holidays, long hours, and that's when everyone else is having fun. So you have to be able to put that aside, put a lot of things in your personal life on the back burner, and really focus on driving that experience for people.
Now, from my friends in the restaurant business, I hear that staffing is a nightmare right now. Can anybody address?
I get calls, emails 2 to 3 times a week from friends that work in the industry here in Vegas that are always looking. It's right now we're just in a deficit, and
there's not enough people that want to get into.
You know what? I think right now, at least from what I see, a lot of students are looking to go into other avenues of hospitality. They see what it is for restaurants specifically, and the hours and the evenings and the weekends. And for a lot of people, that's a turnoff. But that's really what it's about. You have to be willing to go into it, and that's the life you lead for a long time. But again, that gratification on a daily basis or hourly basis, for me specifically, that's what outweighed, going out to movies or dinners on weekends with the masses.
Is there any kind of online tutorials that the college offers?
So we do have our online degree right now. And I think that's kind of where we are right now with a lot of our students, is that they started right before the pandemic hit and spent 2 years at home studying online. So I think a lot of those students specifically just chose to stay at home and finish their degree online because they really didn't get onto campus and really didn't have the time to establish. It's very unfortunate for them. Online education for us was a huge undertaking. I kind of equate it to, someone who learned or got their degree online for brain surgery. I wouldn't want them. They watched some tutorials, and I watched a YouTube video. I'm ready to go. Let's open up that skull ears. Not for me. So,
well, Chef Church, you're kind of like me with learning as you go kind of a experience thing, and I equate it to like flying a plane. And it's probably the same in the restaurants. The more hours more years and time that you put in, and you had some great teachers. What were some of the takeaways that you had early on from when you started?
I think one of the biggest thing early on in my career, one of the CFOs for Charlie Palmer, Richard Feminella.
Oh, those guys.
Great friend of ours. He said to me early on in my career, when I hadn't gone to culinary school, I was about 4 years in, and I was like, well, how did I become an executive chef with you guys? Because it was like, at that time, early 20s. And he's like, well, you don't have the credentials. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll go get the credentials, right? So that's that motivated me to go and work in great places and knock down doors. And thancfully, it happened for me.
Al Mancini, fear and food and loathing.
Food and loathing.
Fear and loathing.
and loathing.
And Neon Feast. Tell us about some of the things that you talk about and areas that you cover.
Well, Food and Loathing was, to do a podcast after a lifetime of doing traditional journalism. It was really just very nice to be able to open up and have longer conversations. We're getting into a world where you have to get to the keywords faster, and you've got to get to the stories, and it's all about the headline and the keywords and the clickbait, and very few people really expand on an idea. So for me to start Food and Loathing, as soon as I left the Review Journal, I said the first thing that I want to do is start a podcast where this can just be a culinary conversation. I mean, food is about the conversations you have over a meal. I mean, that's what makes it more than just nourishment. So I started the podcast. I don't even look at how many downloads we get every week. It's the one thing in my life that I don't have to worry about, how well it's doing. It's
That's
just
where
for
we
me.
differ, my friend.
Well, that one thing, I just get on and I just talk to chefs. And we talk to 5, 6, 7, 8 chefs every week. We have in-depth conversations, and that way they're not worried that I'm going to take one little quote and blow it up out of proportion, which when you're working for a newspaper, I think anytime I've ever interviewed you guys, you've been a little worried that I might take the one quote.
Give me one.
I got in trouble. I got in trouble because of you.
Somebody wants to get into culinary. What do you suggest?
What do I suggest? Work hard and love what you do. I mean, that's really it.
Chef Johnny
gotcha.
Church, somebody wants to get into culinary. What do you suggest?
Yeah, same thing. You know, you gotta jump out of bed every day, race to work. You know, be passionate. It sounds easy. Quality food costs labor, but that's the game. So.
And Chef Sandoval, somebody wants to start their program with you. What do they do?
First in, last out.
What does that mean?
You're the first one in the kitchen, and you're the last one out.
Work hard.
And you work hard. You know, you follow other people. Johnny said it earlier. You know, we jump around as chefs because you want the experience from one chef to the next, and that's really what it's about. I mean, you work with a great chef for a couple of years, you learn everything you can, you work as hard as you can, and then a couple of years later, you move up and go to another restaurant where you learn different techniques and a different style from someone else. So.
And we all love to eat. You're watching On Air Education, talking about culinary arts today. We're going to take one more short commercial break, and we're going to wrap this baby up. Stay right where you are.
Here at Silver State Schools Credit Union, we prioritize people over profit. We make it easy for anyone to become a member, and when you do, you'll have access to our full suite of products and services. Things like mobile banking, which makes managing your money simple, secure, and convenient, right in the palm of your hand. So what are you waiting for? Become a member today and have a financial partner for life.
People over profit, Silver State Schools Credit Union.
In a changing world, it's time to change how we look at college. That's why Nevada State College provides excellence with affordability, a campus with diversity, and programs that offer opportunity. Nevada State College. Be bold, be great, be state.
Welcome to the Great American Pub, a great place to hang out with your friends, watch the game, and enjoy some great pub food. Our kitchen is open 24/7 with our full menu. Try some of our signature dishes like the Philly or clam chowder. Join us at the Great American Pub and enjoy happy hour specials. Grab a drink and enjoy great pub food from all over the country right here in Las Vegas. The Great American Pub with two great locations, 215 and Eastern and Flamingo and 215.
Here at Silver State Schools Credit Union, we do things differently than other financial institutions. We offer free financial literacy tools to help you make smart financial decisions now and in the future. And we invest in Southern Nevada by giving back to schools and to deserving charities. So what are you waiting for? Become a member today and have a financial partner for life.
People over profit, Silver State Schools Credit Union.
Good Pie, located on Main Street in the Arts District, is one of Las Vegas's top pizza spots and one of the best places in town for a quick bite or an inexpensive meal. This according to the experts we surveyed for Neon Feast. Unfortunately, those crowdsourced review sites haven't always been so kind.
There are people that use their creative outlets on online reviews for restaurants that are just completely unfair and unfounded. Like, I've been reviewed by customers that actually never experienced the restaurant. Right? How is that possible? You think you're some kind of food critic because you have an online account on XYZ. I've called people flat out lying.
Neon Feast is a new kind of restaurant guide with only expert opinions from people who know what they're talking about.
I use Neon Feast as a directory. When I want to go out with my family or go out with my friends, I'm going to use it because I know it's authentic and I know it's real and I know there's no hidden agenda.
Download the Neon Feast app. It's kind of like Yelp without the souls.
And Jonathan Scott back with On Air Education. Of course, our topic today is culinary arts and how to get started and working. Neon Feast, man. Huh?
We're just trying to put butts into seats at restaurants that they're going to enjoy over at Neon Feast, man. And that's, I love Vinny. He laid it out what the difference is between what we do and what some of the competitors do.
He's so much fun, and I love Evil Pie. I love his product. I love his energy. We've had him on our other show, Vegas Nonstop, before. somebody wants to get started in culinary, what do they do?
Look, I tell them to, first of all, just keep their heads on straight. The game has changed a lot in recent years. There's a lot more focus on life-work balance. As hard as it was for these guys coming up, I know the new employers are really trying to make sure that there's mental health support and physical health support for their people. That's one of the hottest topics I've been reporting on recently, and I just want them to know that. It's not all that tough. It's getting easier out there.
Mm-hmm. Jeff, how do you determine if they want to study Italian food, Asian cooking? Do they break into different kinds of disciplines?
Oh, I mean, I was trained in classic French, and I think that's kind of the root of most cuisine. And I think from there, once you have basic techniques down, then you can start to expand to different types of cookery. It took me quite a while to learn to cook in a wok. That was something new for me, but I did that for quite some time, and I got pretty good at it. So I think it's just once you understand food and how things cook and different methods, then you can really start to expand your knowledge. And it's you can never stop learning. I mean, that's the great thing is you can always find another chef who knows something else about something that you want to be proficient at or good at. So it's kind of a never-ending voyage.
Harris Hospitality at UNLV.
Thank you.
Pretty close with that. Chef Johnny Church, somebody wants to get, so you're more in catering right now. How do you turn the table when you've got 100 people and they all want it hot and they all want it good? How do you do that?
Oh, well, you got to be organized, I mean, from the time you walk into the walk-in, left, right, top to bottom, everything has got to be laid out, timelines. As long as you're, I call it like mental mise en place, as long as you're prepared there, then it's going to translate to the plate and to the guests. So.
You're a pretty mellow guy. I don't see you throwing plates and knives.
No, I work for all those guys, and I said when I get there, I won't be that guy. So
what's your specialty?
My specialty, I would say, is I try to take what's in season, a solid technique, which I'm always learning new techniques, and really into seafood, more of a veg-forward diet, so to speak.
Pretty popular on it. It's a whole nother show.
Yeah, and that's
right?
this whole other thing, and some projects I'm working on as well with. Say veg-forward. I don't want to scare everybody away with saying vegan, but there's nothing wrong with it. But,
I want to thank all of our Chef Johnny Church, Executive Chef Mark Sandoval, and of course, restaurant journalist, food journalist, Neon Feast, Food and Loathing in Las Vegas, Al Mancini. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And please turn into our podcast. Our technical geek would be mad at me if I didn't say go to On Air Education on Apple Podcasts and iHeart Podcasts and almost all of those other podcast platforms. My name is Jonathan Scott, and my sign off was something that you guys are all going to appreciate, and I'm going to remind you all to eat well and party hard, my friends. Thanks for tuning in.